I've been fighting crime all night, and now I can hear the birds. Is it daytime? I'm in Salad and I Saw Daredevil, Season 1, Episode 8, Shadows in the Glass. It is directed by Steven Surgic, written by Stephen S. Knight. If you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode follows Foggy and Karen, and they bring Murdoch into their investigation into Union Allied. They're like, hey, can you help us? And Murdoch be like, you know what? Sure, but only if you stay out of harm's way, you use the legal system, don't do anything shady. Okay, we got to get notes, we got to get facts, we got to get information about Wilson Fisk, who is in the shadows. We got to get a bunch of information about him right now, as soon as possible. We got to get a journalist to make a hit piece on him, and the journalist from past few episodes, the guy who's been helping Karen out, he's written a hit piece. Speaking of Fisk, he has business relationships with other mob bosses, including this powerful Chinese woman who is incredibly intimidating. Oh my goodness, she's like, hey, you're losing control. You need to find a way to get control back. I gotta say, I don't like how you've been handling the city. You've been emotional, and the way that she speaks is just so pointed and slow. And because she speaks that way, it wrecks my soul. I'm shooketh. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just gonna be thinking about what she's got to say. You know? Of course, Fisk is like, well, there's this guy, Blake. He's a loose end. He's in the hospital. I gotta go kill him before he says anything. And while Fisk's got the guy who's going to do the killing, looks like Daredevil's here. Get some information. Big ol' ambush. Get some information out of him before he dies, and he does. And of course, I like how the nature of what's happening in this room is so chaotic and messy that he was able to just pin it on the Black Mask Man. Hey, that guy assaulted me, even though he was here to sent to kill this man, and he did. He did do the injection, even though he's his pals. I also find that he has to kill his friend that he's known for 30 years. He's like, I've known him for 30 years. And Fisk is like, yeah, but how much is that worth to you? It's like, ooh, no, that's right. Either he got paid off, or maybe that's hey, you will be the one who gets killed if you don't kill this guy, okay? He's a loose end in our operation. So it's kind of sad he has to kill his own friend, but of course, Murdoch's there. He's going to get him. He gets another talking to by the Chinese lady, and she's like, dude, I'm going to take over your spot. We can just find somebody else who's less emotional to take over you. And you know what he does? Fisk does. He goes to Vanessa. He confides in Vanessa. We find out some juicy detail about his past, which I find to be, I don't know if it's endearing necessarily, because he killed his father, but it was because his father was beating his mother senseless. And he's like, enough, right? He snaps, he's 12 years old or whatever. He's just freaking... And his father is teaching him to kick people while he's down. So, and his father's teaching these life lessons that I completely understand where you get Fisk from. I get it. I understand now. And Vanessa's like, yeah, I understand. I think you should be open. Come out to the public. And so we got the journalist guy. He's like, Wilson Fisk, he's a guy. You should look out for him. You know, all that fun jazz, right? And guess what? Wilson Fisk is talking, and he's talking. He's doing a press conference while the journalist is typing up hit piece on Wilson Fisk, right? Or I guess the expose, but not anymore, because Wilson Fisk is exposing himself. He's exposing himself. And he's like, hey, this is why I've been in the shadows for so long, but now this is why I'm coming clean. All that fun jazz. And I really like this episode because it is fun. It shows a lot about Wilson Fisk. The ending is great because it's oh my goodness. All of that effort, all of that work into nothing. Wilson Fisk played them. I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm a big fan. What do you think of this episode? I felt like this episode I like the explanation of why Fisk likes the white textured wall. It reminds him of the wall he was staring at before he had to beat his dad to death, which is pretty freaking brutal. The appeal of having such a textured white painting is so you can reflect on the more innocent times before, you know, you cross the boundary of murdering. You know, doing a murder is crossing a boundary. Now you're a murderer. Fisk is forever a murderer, and so young. So what type of person do you turn into at that point? He is definitely a mama's boy. I could definitely see the relationship that he's developing with Vanessa. It's going to reflect. Vanessa is definitely going to be a strong female lead in the relationship. I think she's going to be in control of Fisk. That's my perspective on it. He really hates guys in positions of power, and he has sympathy for like the women being abused by the men in power, and so he wants to change the world, the city for the better. And I think he has more sympathy for the women than the men. You know, it's everything's about the parents and the relationship between the parents and the children. It's always about that. And I like exploring the depth of Fisk's character, and I just want to know more, honestly. So I gotta give this episode, oh man, the ending really hit me hard, so I've gotta get it. It's like an 8 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform where you like that. If I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't seen it all, so get the Patreon request at patreon.com/ASEPresents for one movie review for 1 month for $20 Reditos. And you can also support the daily grindiness at autisticvillage.com, so you can go here. And until next time in Salad Saw, I'll see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits.